yes, it's Rasco of the Rasco and Disco beer show. Sorry, caught me having a pre-show nap. That's only ever happened once before, but I overslept. Hello everyone who's coming to join us, and nice and prompt. Glad you missed my pre-show nap. Yeah, I was just saying that's only ever happened once before, where I overslept and kind of late for a show. That happened almost a year ago. Paul's here. Oh, wave the Paul. I'll bring him on. Here we go. The main man, the big gun, is coming. We're waiting for Paul. Where's my beer? What have I got for beer? I've sent Paul. Paul, I've sent you a request. You just need to accept it. I've invited. Shark, how you doing? Windows beer review. How you doing? Grubbly Beard. Everyone, clueless drinker, what shall I drink, everyone? Hello. I have on the menu tonight a Disco's here. I'll send him an invite as well. Paul, if the invite I've sent you isn't working, send it over. Hey, evening. On the menu, Kronk's, a brewery near me. Who have got?
Yes. Greetings, Rasco. How we doing?
Good man. Good man. You?
Yeah, not too bad. I see we got some people in. Crumby, Clueless. Crumby, you still on the road or you back home?
Yeah. Paul was on it, and then I sent him an invite, and now he's gone. He hasn't joined the show yet, but I don't know what's going on. So, yes. Nice technical difficulties we're facing. I was just going through what I've got on the menu tonight. They're all...
Yeah, man, what you got?
Well, what's Shark saying? I'm going to get myself a Sierra Nevada Oktoberfest. Just want to rub it in. Yeah, you do that. I need to rub it in with Paul. Will you do it at the disco as well? Home now, bud. Got back a couple of hours ago. Oh, that's good. Anyway, I got myself Kronk's Earl Grey and Mango Hazy Amber drink, 3.8%. I've had it before. It is good. This is one of the best Kronk's do. They are closing down their bar this weekend in Croydon, hoping to re-establish somewhere else. Check them out. Check out the Earl Grey beers. I was in their bar last night having their porter on cask, and it was delicious. It's a proper old school porter, nothing too fancy, just smooth and malty and nice. Right, and I just see, where's Paul gone? I hope he's okay. But anyway, I've also got Rain and Shine by Cloudwater, a collab beer of Fizz Brewing, Rock Leopard, and Second Shift Brewing. It's apparently stout. It's politically themed. I brought it mostly because it was cheap, and Cloudwater beers are not cheap. Oh, hang on. Drum roll, please. Yep.
Oh yeah. He's in.
Yeah. I got a smudge on my leg.
Paul, how you doing, sir? How you doing? Good evening.
How are we all doing? We good?
All good, man. All good. Glad you're here, man. Glad you're here.
Oh, glad to be here. Appreciate the invite.
It's all right, man. I was just going through what I got on my menu tonight. I've got. I'll just repeat for you. It's by Kronk's, a brewery near me called Earl Grey Mango. It's a hazy amber. Their bar's closing down this weekend, so I'm supporting them. Rise and Shine by Cloudwater. Got it because it's cheap, and not many Cloudwaters are. And the Crowdfunder Stout by Anspatch Hobday, and I didn't even know they did this, so I'm having it. It's 8%. And then, if I get through all four of these, or 3 of these. I'm going to have this salted caramel fudge brownie Russian Imperial pastry stout by 3 Hills, 11%.
Whoa.
Blimey.
That's a great selection.
Yeah.
That sounds.
Crumbly
Anyway.
points out that the halo effect is very apt there, Paul. The light behind you has got a lovely little...
Man.
It's superb. It's a slightly different view on Instagram. Have you done Instagram lives before? Is this your first time, sir?
First one I've done, I was going to do it on my laptop, and I was like, I can't get the invite on my laptop, so I just whacked on the phone. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one thing about Instagram. Yeah, it's all phone-based. But, well, don't worry. A lot of other people have come on our show. It's been their first time, and it's not been too bad an experience. So, welcome along, sir.
That's a great advert. It's not been too bad for them. Hell yeah, come down anytime. Yeah.
Some people have even come back twice, you know.
What did you say you was drinking?
So I'm going local tonight. Tonight I'm on my local brewery, Perivale. Very hazy New England IPA. I don't drink too many New England IPAs, but because it's a local one, 6%, I thought I'd give it a go. It's in the stash. It's got to be drunk.
Nice.
So I'm starting off on that. And then I've got a couple of stouts for afterwards, also local breweries that you might recognise.
Happy days. Happy days.
So cheers. What have you got in the glass to start off with, Paul?
Well, I figured I'd go American. Since it's kind of a bit of a memorial type day, I thought we'd commemorate our American friends, and I'd go American. So I'm starting off with a Hazy IPA from Two Roads out of Connecticut, and it's their Tuesday, it's called.
Wow.
A sessionable 8.2% ABV. So, yeah, I thought we'd start on this one. Get the party rolling.
Yeah.
Super. Where do you pick your American beers up from in this country, Paul? Where'd you get them from?
Most from Beer Hop. Beerhop.co.uk. They've got a decent range of American there now. I'm a big... I get a lot of them there, or the K Club, which is the thing. So they get a lot of the limited editions and things like that there. So yeah, generally online.
Well then, sir. Cheers.
You thanks for joining us. You did get a comment earlier from Sharky saying he has a Sierra Nevada Oktoberfest special, and he's brought it. He's having it right now just to rub it in for some reason.
Just to take the piss. Yeah. Did you get many Oktoberfest beers over there? And I said, only online. And he's like, I've got the Sierra Nevada one. I was just like, you. Yeah.
Fair enough.
I don't think I should be commenting on Sierra Nevada. We've often had a discussion between me and Raska about the fact that I'm fairly certain I've never drunk a Sierra Nevada beer. I've just never fancied it, but seeing you guys go on about it, I might have to give it a go.
I remember you saying that on the previous episode. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I was like, you're kidding me.
Yeah, it's just from back in the day, really, like when, a lot of first started getting exposed to craft beers and a lot of American craft beers, and hopefully Crumbly will back me up on this. We sort of don't like the kind of over hoppy beers. Crumbly said this as well, and I just felt like a lot of the American craft beers coming over were kind of too hoppy, didn't really sit on my palate, and I love the artwork on Sierra Nevada. They were great. The cans and bottle labels were brilliant, but I felt they were going to be too hoppy. I might have had one once. That's where it's come from, but I've just never got around to it. Yeah, because there's so much other stuff to drink. But it seems like a special one-off, probably, just to get that. I imagine it's going to be, no, thank you. But you guys say it'd be great, so I should be guided, I guess. Always learning, as we say. You got to try them, haven't you? You got to try these things, right? Didn't you?
The thing is about the pale ale is like it's been around for a long time, and if you look at other classics like Jaipur, Titanic Plum Porter, even Punk IPA. And I tried raising this point in Brew London. I don't know if you remember, because I don't. You know, the pale ale, its consistent level is never gone down. It's been around for 30 years. I mean, that is just testament to the brewery's power. And, you know, no one has got a problem with it. So fair play. I think it is a benchmark for pale ales. It's that good.
Yeah.
You ran into a storm of a comment a couple of weeks ago, Disco, when you said, "Oh, it'd be more hoppier than Jaipur," and it was like, "Whoa, you don't know what you're on about."
Well, having mentioned Crumbie in that statement, you just put a comment there. Sierra Nevada be maybe better balanced than many others. So, well, if even Crumbie's saying it's okay, then it probably might be. So it's got to be given a go. I tell you, the one I did want to try from Sierra Nevada is the Narwhal the Stout. That looks amazing.
Yeah, it's a bit special, that one.
You did a review of it, and it was absolutely a great review you've done. By the way, everyone, this is Paul. His Paul Beer Reviews. Check him out on YouTube. But it reminded me of another brewery we know called Mad Yank, who are connected with Creative Juices, who you interviewed as well. And so, yeah, if you like American beer, check them out, because the description you were giving of the Navarro was very much like how they do their dark beers. Yeah. Not thick body, thin.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely stunning. I gave them Brewery of the Year last year. But yes, we do like, from when fellow beer reviewers come on the show to do a beer review. And Hopzine got out of it when he came on the show. He backdoored it as quick as possible. So I'm going to ask you, can you give us a bit of Paul beer review right here, right now, just as if you were on YouTube?
Oh, we'll go for it. Get it out of the way. So, yeah, 2 juicy, Hazy Juicy IPA, 8.2% ABV. There she is in the glass. She hasn't got much of a head to her, which is to be expected for an 8.2% ABV IPA, but it looks like juice. It just looks like pure juice. And it's like hazy, golden colour. On the aroma, I'm getting orange juice, grapefruit, pineapple, tiniest bit of mango, bit of passion fruit, getting stuck in. And the first thing you notice is how thin the body is.
Wow.
Bit like the Sierra Nevada thing you just mentioned. It's thin. Even the carbonation is light. It doesn't have like a thick, creamy, kind of like full body that a lot of these big IPAs seem to have over here at the moment. Very thin. This is very light, but dare I say watery. But it's so juicy. The name of the beer completely nails it. It is too juicy. Too juicy. Loads of orange juice, pineapple, grapefruit. Lovely, lovely citrus bitterness at the back end. Gentle carbonation feeds in. There's a lovely sort of bready malt to it, kind of mid palate, and then at the end you're left with a really citrus bitterness and a booziness. You're aware that this is an 8.2% IPA, but it's not too boozy though. It's not over the top boozy. I can feel a bit of warmth, but the fruitiness of the hops that are coming through just balance it out. And again, that's another word you use, balance. And that's just why I seem to gravitate towards American IPAs at the moment, because for all the hot profile and all the massive flavours you get in them, there always seems to be a balance. They always seem to kind of just rein it in. Just as you think it's going to get a bit out of hand and get a little bit hoppy and a bit crazy, they just manage to rein it in, and it becomes a balanced, really rewarding drinking experience. This is one of those. It does drink heavy. I'm not sure if it drinks like an 8.2. I would say closer to 7. But all in all, that's a hell of an IPA. It really is. And if I was to score it, I'd probably give that a solid 8.5 out of 10. Really good beer.
Wow.
Really good. But yeah.
Super. Thank you very much. So that's basically what people are expecting when you dive into your YouTube. I'd say you're never lost for words, almost.
Almost. One or two where I do a mouthful and I'm just like, shit, where do I start? You know, I think Narwhal was one of those, actually. I kind of took a mouthful and I was just like, oh my God. So where do I start? You know, so, but yeah, I don't think that's a bad thing though. When you get a beer, it just, I don't know where to start, you know. So this isn't quite there, but yeah, I recommend that. That's really, really good. I think at the moment, that's supposed to be one of the most highly rated beers going. Like Untapped, in terms of Untaps and beer writers, everyone seems to be loving this one. So yeah, that's juicy as hell, really is. So yeah, too juicy from Two Roads. Recommend that.
All right, thanks for a very detailed and descriptive review, mate. That's inspiring. That's, I mean, you won't get that many words from me. I mean, hello to everyone who's joined us, by the way, and Walton Brewery. Hello, not seen you crop up before. Quite like a few of your beers, too.
Following on from Rasko's point now, I've been trying to get back into doing like piece to camera video beer reviews. I've done a couple in the last week, but do you find it easy just talking to yourself in front of the camera? I find it quite difficult, and I sometimes do several takes. Are you like one take, bang, straight in?
Yeah, one take is done. Yeah, when I first started doing it, I thought it was stupid. What am I doing? And I kind of used to watch them back. And I was like, I'm not sure about it. And then I just thought, I sod it. Do you know what I mean? It's not meant to be perfect. It's me sitting in my front room talking about a beer. Who cares? You know, so, and as it's gone on, you kind of, okay, a few people are watching now, and no one's had a go at the quality of the video, so I'll just carry on doing it. So, yeah.
That's why you're at, what, 3,000 on YouTube, and we've got like 56 at the minute. Because we just don't do enough of that. I think I worry too much about it, you know?
Yeah, no, you just got to keep doing it. You just got to keep doing it. I remember it took me ages to get any numbers. If I got like 5 views, I'd be like, yes, you know, someone's actually watching it. And now if I haven't had 5 views in a minute or so, I get a little bit worried. That's so yeah, you just got to keep doing it. You just got to bollocks to what everyone else thinks, and just go for it.
What got you into doing beer reviews on social media and stuff?
I think as my beer tastes were changing, as you sort of age, or should I say, rather than just drinking the macro lagers, which I grew up drinking, let's have it right, you know, Foster's, Rex, and all that. That was all I drank. I just got a little bit fed up with it, and trying different beers and trying different styles, and I wondered if, you know, you start looking in the supermarket, and on one side of the shelf you had all the lagers, right, and then you turn around and you see like one or two other things, you know, sort of traditional IPAs and things like that, and then one or two little craft things started popping up, you know, sort of Brewdog Punk IPA, for example, you know, the bottles of the Punk IPA went all horizontal back in the day.
Another beer I've never tried, purchased, or been bothered about, funnily enough.
It's not worth it now. But I mean,
no.
Yeah, I started getting into different styles of beers and tastes of beers and things. Am I supposed to be tasting that? Am I supposed to be smelling that? Just totally new for me. And then I just randomly typed in beer reviews on YouTube one day, and I came across Simon from Craft Beer Guide. He was the first I spotted, and it was just him in his kitchen talking about a beer, and I watched for a while, watched his beer reviews for a while, and every time I kind of ever went into a supermarket and glanced up, I found myself referring to him or YouTube to see what they thought about it, so I kind of got an idea of what to expect from it, and then I might go and buy it, you know. So I was definitely being influenced by it, and then it got to the point where I was like, do you know what, some of these beer reviewers, they're not telling me where I can get it and how much I've got to pay to get it and things like that. And I thought, if I want that information, then there's bound to be other people that want that information, right? I'll record, I'm drinking a beer, I'll tell everyone where I got it, how much I paid for it, and we'll just and yeah, that was that. It's a hobby. It's a hobby. I enjoy it, and I just feel like if you're sharing that information with people, I think it's appreciated. So, and it's just gone from there. So, yeah, that's it really.
No, that's right. I always try and like put obviously got a link to the brewery, but I mean it's sort of easier now when you've got more places to get stuff from and so much more choice.
Oh yeah. I mean, it changes. I mean, it's changed since when I started drinking, craft beer. It's completely changed. It's everywhere. You would never have got a Cloudwater beer or something, a Northern Monk beer in a supermarket. It's just it's insane. Like years, it's bonkers. So yeah, it's a great time to be alive.
So it's certainly changed in the last 18 months. I mean, I never bought any beer online until last April, and then suddenly it's gone absolutely mad for getting beers in. It's just get beers in a couple of days. You see something you want, and it's on your doorstep. Yeah,
exactly. It's hard not to get into it. I'd be ordering more beer, really.
Yeah. I had to rein myself in the last few months, cost-wise as much as anything. But
yeah,
the beer stash is just—it's not overflowing, but it's just And I say I buy stuff into review, so I've got to get on and review it. But I also try and get stuff and just have a general drink that I don't need to review. What do you do? Do you just buy stuff with a mind? I can definitely review that, or you have a little side stash that you can just crack into for beers?
I think generally it's I've got a big juice, and to be honest, I can't review one or two of them from the box generally because I just tend to drink those. But if there's one that's particularly exciting, I might review them. Yeah, generally I go out and buy beers with the intention. It doesn't always happen. It's because I just kind of think that now, and I can't be bothered to talk to myself. I just want to drink it, So it happens quite. There's so many beers that I've bought, and I thought it never happened. So it's hard. It's that hobby, that interest with essentially what's starting to become a little bit of a. I'm not going to say it's not. People want you to review stuff, right? So it's it's getting that balance.
We're doing a lot of waving, and apologies to everybody in the comments because there's loads of comments scrolling through, and we just haven't not getting a chance to get back to them because it's quite difficult to read comments on Instagram. It's kind of white down the bottom of the screen, and it's difficult to go back. So, thanks to everybody commenting, by the way, and hello to everybody who's joined and we've missed as well.
And we've got another brewery just joined us, Howell Backroom Brewery. Never heard of you. Sorry.
On Paul Streams, yeah.
But hello to everyone. Thanks for the compliments from my facial hair. It's much appreciated. Always. Any more compliments about how good I look is always appreciated on the show. Send it over all the time. Love it. Tweet it. Whatever. We love it.
We've sort of got three stages of facial hair here, haven't we? We've got yourself, we've got Paul in the middle there, and just fucking wild disco.
So, what I really like what you do with your reviews, you do like the beer I wouldn't touch with a barge pole, to be honest. You'd reviewed Foster's, you've done San Miguel, and for me, no, I can't even stomach Foster's. I'd rather just drink water because it tastes better, bizarrely. But you're not afraid, and a lot of people in the craft world wouldn't go near it. And I quite admire the boldness that you're just going to do it and say you put it up there.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say I'm well into my craft beers, but it all started somewhere, right? Everyone had beer once upon a time, and still people that just drink that stuff. And it's as much as I like drinking these craft beers, I can never say to someone, "Yeah, do you know what? You're wrong," because it's not my place to say that. It's no one's place to say that. And if someone says, "Yeah, do you know what? Foster's is my favourite beer," fair play to them. It's not my favourite beer, and I can give you a million why. But if that's your favourite beer, that's your favourite beer, and no one's in a position to tell you it's not. So I will review beer want to drink it. And if you go through like the lists of my most watched videos, they're all mass produced, generally mass produced lagers or German Weissens or things like that. They're all the readily available beers, if that's what we drink. Want to hear about.
Fair enough. The beer dog reviews has just started following us, Phil. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Like and subscribe, everyone. This beer is going down the treat. It would be appreciated with a much warmer weather. It looks like tropical orange juice, some kind of tropical juice. It tastes very tropical. It's got a bit of bitterness to it, and you can sense the alcohol in that bitterness. I'm quite pleased with it. I do think it's the best beer Kronks do. Well, I did think that until last night when I ran their bar, having their porter on cask. And I said it once, I'll say it again. I really wish them well with finding a new establishment so I can pop by. I haven't given them enough love or attention over the years, so please check out Kronks.
There we go.
What else? Oh yeah, I haven't got many shout outs. There was one last week which I forgot to say. It was an interview Kimberly Craft pinup girl did with Paul Jones from Cloudwater, and I always find Paul Jones very interesting to listen to. Don't always agree, but I always find him very interesting. So check out that. Yes, I thought I'd do my shout-outs instead of forget it halfway through the show. And since I'm just off from halfway from the show, I think I've succeeded. Thanks. We just got a few more follows. Thank you very much. Paul, you should come on the show more often. We're getting more follows on this.
Showing the love. Showing the love. It's a good thing.
Yeah, much appreciated. If we don't follow you already, we will be soon. Right, well, in about an hour or so.
Yeah. What was the ABV on that beer you're supping on?
3.8. It's very light. It's nice. It's good to start with. Aroma is just tropical. There's nothing else to say. You can sense the fruit in it, and it's delight. I would session these quite happily. In fact, I think one night I did, but that was a few months ago actually. When after I'd been in a BrewDog bar, and finally understood BrewDog bars and finally got into it. For wow, this is a great concept. And then news broke that there's been a major scandal on them again. Yeah, shit happens. Okay then, so we've established where you started. Where are you going with your beer reviews? Are you going to do any more tours or? Oh
hell yeah. That's kind of the main plan for the channel at the moment, is to get out a lot more. It's just more fun, you know. As much as sitting in my front room drinking beer is all right. The channel really peaked last year when we were all stuck indoors, and get out. All I wanted to do was get out and drink in tap rooms and bars up and down the country. And I've been saying for months and months that once I can, I will get out and I will drink beers on location and record content and do stuff like that, and become almost like a bit of a tourist guide if I can, a beery tourist guide. That's what I'd like to do, you know, if there's any opportunity I can, you know, kind of balancing the workload and everything like that. That's what I want to do. That's the direction I want the channel to go in a bit more, and mix it up with stuff like this, the shot that you've got right now, you know, getting that balance. But yeah, any opportunity I can to get out chat rooms up and down the country, I will take, and I will take with me. You know, that's where that's where I want the channel to go.
Fair enough. You're based around St Albans, aren't you?
That's right. Yeah, it's in St Albans. So just about 10 minutes north of Barnet. So yeah.
Okay. No, it's not too far from me. I'm northwest London, so I'm Harrow, so I'm not too far away from you. It's really like on the other side of the M25, pretty much, but certainly the right side of London. I always wind him up because he's gone south. So.
Right. Yeah, I just, let's say there was some technical difficulties and I couldn't hear that one.
I've missed a load of comments there. I see Neptune, Funketeers at Neptune Brewery, which is a brewery I've had some beers from, but that's a good trip to Liverpool in the planning at some stage.
Yeah. You've been by the Mad Squirrel tap room? Do they have a tap room? They do.
Yeah,
They've got Mad Squirrel. I've got 5 tap rooms.
Yeah, I go to the St Albans one quite often. They've got a bar at the actual brewery in Hemel Hempstead, and I heard yesterday they're opening another one in Watford as well. So
Watford? Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So they're going to be popping up all over the place around here now at the moment, and a fair play to them. They deserve it because their beers are outstanding.
Absolutely, I've got one lined up for later. In fact,
we got that.
Della Whip, Walnut Milk Stout.
That is a nice one. Yeah.
I do love the cans. I do love Mad Squirrel, like just like plain and simple, but really kind of great colours and that rough can label.
Yeah,
that one later. Although, talking of local beer, my next one up is this one from Creative Juices, and I know you obviously know them because you was popped over to their tap room. I meant to just before lockdown. I found out about them on a farm just inside the M25 in Wickmansworth.
Yeah,
this is coloured their stout. I know you've been there for a chat, haven't you?
A lovely beer, that one. Beautiful can. Their artwork and all their cans are lovely as well.
Yeah.
Did you Ben at Brew London, Rasco? I'm assuming you did.
I did because Mad Yank put me onto them, and so I thought, all right, I'll go have a chat and find out what's the connection and what you're all about. And we do plug Mad Yank a fair bit, and why not do a bit more plugging, because they are looking to do stuff with Creative Juices. I did have I had 2 glasses of a drink from Creative. In that shitty glass that they gave you, so wasn't a fan of that at all. But yeah, and that's where started sliding down towards oblivion.
I still don't understand what happened there. Like I say, one minute sitting in the corridor and you were sounding pound, and the next thing I know, you're off your tits. I don't know what happened. It was funny.
I was holding together in the corridor, and just about, and then we got back into that studio room, and the heat in that studio room. I realised, shit, I'm on Simon's show. This is Simon's show. I'm whoa.
Got stage fright.
I think the adrenaline just pumped in. I was having a pretty shit day before I got there, so I was starving. I was absolutely fucking starving. And it just all came calamity, and I was like, whoa. Do remember, you brought out a can, and it had the Gallagher brothers on it.
That's right, yeah.
And to my credit, I managed to keep silent. I actually remember, don't say anything, you've been saying too much already. Mate, I can not stop slagging off the Gallaghers. It's been a hobby of mine for 25 years. I've come round to the fact, they've actually done a few good songs, despite the fact they can never stop talking about Nebworth, that gig they did 25 years ago. Jim apparently laughed his ass off. Well, for hijacking some shit. I wasn't hijacking. I was just presenting.
He was just having.
I was having a slot. This is what you get from the Rasco and Disco show. And if I'm invited back, or I go back to Brew London, expect more, bigger, bolder, and maybe ideas. Disco might even come out of his shell and join us. Who knows?
Next year, indeed. Well, I think we're just all glad that it was just about on the right side of hilarious for you, Rasco. rather than too embarrassing. You kept it together fairly well. We agree with Shark. Shark says you need to do this on YouTube. We agree, Shark. We are getting there. It's just we started off on Instagram because I guess it was easier and we had more followers, and we've still got more followers on Instagram.
Yeah.
So it's sort of because of the way like social media works. Instagram will tell people that we're live, so more people will come and watch. And especially if if we got guests on the show and they've got more followers than us. Whereas YouTube is a little bit more, the algorithm is a little bit more hit and miss in terms of letting people know that you're live. So, but yeah, we agree, a bit more space on that, but we make do, and it wouldn't be a Rasco and Disco beer show if there weren't some errors at the start or like pixelation or whatever, but it's all about the beer really, so.
Exactly. It don't want to right there.
Yeah, speaking of which, I've got to have my next beer, and I'm wondering which one I should do, the Cloudwater, the Anspatch, or the Free Hills.
I think the Cloudwater or the Anspatch in the middle, and then one of those, and then the Three Hills, I think. Depending on how much time we waffle on for.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'm going to go with the Crowdfunder Stout by Anspatch.
We do like Anspatch on the channel.
I do. Not too far away. And by the way, anyone, they have a beer festival happening over at their brewery in Croydon. It's an Oktoberfest beer festival, so go along. I don't think I'm going to be there. I mean, last week I was 70% sure I was going to Beer Central in Birmingham. Now I'm like 55% sure I'm going. I might just go to Anspatch instead. Yeah, so we'll see. I noticed Jacob B just came into the show, and he was doing a live with Craig only 10 minutes before 10 on a train.
Yeah, so I'm guessing he got back to digs all right.
I hope so.
Tom's home. He drove down from Scotland. He's back in Nottingham.
He must have left early, but he's done well if he's got back.
Good going, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well done, mate.
Oh, fuck.
Safe check.
All right. I'll give this a go. Open up. Oh, hang on. Is everyone else still on their first drink?
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm taking time because I've done a proper knobhead pour in this glass of this Colours Milk Stout. So I'm waiting for it to settle a bit, and it's not gone well. I hate opening beers, especially live, because of that propensity to do an absolute knobhead pour.
That's not knobhead pour. Does it taste the flavor? Does the flavour of the drink taste better or worse because of it?
Well, I did this. I did this as a written review, not live. So it was a while back, actually. I've had this for a while. I actually got this. I don't know if you know them, Paul. They're over in Bovingdon, a company called Micro Beer Crate.
Yeah. They're
like an online store.
That's right, yeah.
And they do free delivery in 15 miles of Bovingdon. And I am like 14.999 miles away from Bovingdon, so they've done me free delivery for that. Because I saw they had Creative Juices on, they got Mad Yank as well. But yeah, they were very good. They dropped me some down. I've got to get some more stuff from them.
Oh, awesome! I'll have to get an order in. So I've seen them on Instagram.
Yeah.
Seen them.
I was a little bit cheeky. They do quite a good line in like reduced price beers. Obviously, they have quite a lot of stock in, so I did put a few like reduced priced end of line beers on to kind of make the order up. But they were still really good and dropped them over to me. So I have to get back onto them.
Thanks for the nice comments about me being on Brew London, making it epic. Yes, I know. In fact, you can have autographs if you want. I'll sell them.
You notice Rasco didn't fail to notice that one. He didn't fail to notice that comment.
Yep. I mean, I don't really remember much of Brew London. It's all a bit hazy for some reason, but hey, I'm glad people enjoyed it.
It was the Friday night.
Yes, it was. Yeah. It was. I got there 3 hours late. Ran in, pounded everything I could find. Bumped into Craig. Well, met Craig. Bumped into Brad Evans. And what I really regret is that not getting there on time, I missed out on meeting a few other people. Because, I mean, literally everyone in beer tubing world was there. The Beer O'Clock show was there on the same time. Gabs from What's in the Glass was there. Booze House Tales, and many, many more. I think even Virtual Pub Club was there. And it was just would have been a great opportunity to meet them, but I was just in a panic, in a rush, and got really pissed very quickly.
Was Beer O'Clock show over there, were they?
One of them was, yeah, because he said so in the podcast.
Oh,
and
I usually listen to the opinion, whatever it's called now.
Yeah.
I listened to that one. I must have missed it because I wondered if one of them were going to be there, but I didn't hear them talk about it. Oh, we're going to Brew London in a couple of like that. But I just going.
Yeah, one of them went along. I think it was Steve, and he took a workmate with him. And yeah, he spoke highly of the event. He talked about how organised it was and COVID, and stuff like that. And no, I've really, really loved that podcast. I'm working my way through it.
Yeah.
And it's a true pleasure just to listen to. I mean, I was recommending them to an actual journalist, and saying, look, these are just two guys with just no media training whatsoever, and just the quality of it is just outstanding. The discussion, the level of interviewing. I'd love to be on their show. I'd love to have them on the show, but I'm not sure they'd do it. But
it'd be an interview with Ken Grossman.
Ken Grossman? No.
And the man behind. Oh, it was incredible. Incredible.
Yeah.
They must have gone out March, April time, and they didn't tell anyone they were. They just sat via Zoom, chatted with him for like an hour and a half, and they said afterwards they had to kind of sit there and they're like, did that just happen? Did we really sit there and talk with him? And it was incredible. If you like your beer podcast, check out the Beer O'Clock show, and it's incredible.
Tell a lie, I did hear that one. Yeah, and I was actually in awe of it, and I was kind of, whoa, this is pretty damn cool. Because the story of how they started, and it's still a family business, it's still independent.
Yeah. And he built the equipment. Like, he built a load of the equipment that started it off in the first place. And then the first actual bit of equipment they bought, they had it over from Germany, and they're still using it to this day. And when you think, Sierra Nevada Pale Ale is now, 40 years old? And it's like the same, but it's changed slightly, like over 40 years, but it's still a superb beer. But the story he told was incredible.
Yeah, it's definitely a must listen. I do remember that one. They've got such a good rack of interviews. I mean, they've got Johnny Garrett going on in next week or two to talk about his new book. I think that's the first time he's been on it. I know one of them has appeared in one of his videos in the early days of the Craft Beer channel. But in terms of beer podcasts, I tend to only listen to about 3 or 4, but that is the essential listening.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's not objective for me to say I think that's the best one going because I don't listen to that many, but it probably is, if I'm honest.
Yeah, it's a good quality. It is a good pod. And like I say, it's just two normal folks who just like beer and chatting a bit of waffle. That's what I like about it. You know, they're not being pretentious. They're not like saying, "Oh yeah, we're friends with all these guys." Blah blah blah. They're just telling it as it is. I quite like that about it. You know.
Yeah. This is going down the tree. As soon as I opened it, lovely kind of coffeeness aroma to it. It's got a lovely bit of bitterness to it, and I say lovely bitterness. It's very much kind of this espresso thing going on here. It had a very slightly tanned head. It's all dissipated now. It's pitch black crude oil, but I can't knock it. It's enjoyable, but I wouldn't say it's one of their best. I'd say it's a very, very, very good one. They've done better, but hey, it's a crowdfunded beer. You're not meant to make it your best. All right, what's a comment in there? Oh, that's a big one. Americans just had their GABF Great American beer festival. Oh, great! It's like GBBF. Hundreds of breweries are in attendance. A must-see. Oh, that sounds good. You know,
It's going to be a lot of breweries for American Beer Festival. They've got thousands, haven't they?
Sharky. Just a quick question. Like at our GBBF, we have an American bar there dedicated to American breweries. Do you have a UK bar at these things, or any American beer festival? Do you have a UK bar? Just out of interest.
That's a great question. Yeah, does it go the other way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great question. I bet they haven't, the arrogant bastards.
Well, no, because they do get a fair few British breweries over there. But I mean, I was in Hawaii drinking Newcastle Brown ale. They love Newcastle Brown over there, and
Wow.
and you get. I mean, I'm sure you get like London Pride and Hobgoblin over there. There is a certain amount of crossover, like some of the bigger stuff. I don't know what craft beers, UK craft beers they get.
Yeah, but they love their cask. I mean, the Americans are developing their own cask, which I'm quite curious to know which is all about. I'm not sure how you'd transport it over here and still maintain the quality, but
Quickly.
just see. Yeah, cheers. But America really has turned the tables on beer, and if they're doing their own cask now, I think UK industry needs to really wake up and just stop mimicking the American craft and just do your own thing. Because it is kind of a bee in my bonnet about that. And I like my history beer. I'd rather have a beer that was made 200 years ago than something that was made brand new and fresh. It's just me because I'm an arse. But who's on your watch list at the moment, Paul?
Sorry?
Who's on your watch list for breweries and beer?
Elusive in Berkshire. I'm doing really good for them. Who else? Leon C. Their brewery. I'm hearing they're knocking out some really, really good stuff at the moment. And the other one is Utopian, the lager brewers down in Devon.
Definitely.
And they're incredible. I don't have any of their beers yet, but I'm hearing that their lagers are absolutely fantastic. They're probably the three that are the first come to Elusive, Leon C, and Utopian. I really need to get my arse in gear and order some of their beers because they're meant to be incredible. In particular, I hear that the Elusive Oregon Trail, their West Coast IPA, is meant to be amazing.
Award winning.
Yeah. So, get hold of that one.
Yeah, I've been aware of Elusive for a while, and they've always sort of been elusive to me. Ironically, that I've looked on their web shop, and it's like I think like the one or two of their mainstream ones weren't available every time I sort of happened to look, and then I see it's come out, and by the time I get round to deciding whether I can afford to buy them, they're not. They've gone. They've just gone so quick. But they've got a lot of collabs at the moment. They've done a big collab series for their birthday, so I might pick some up from other breweries like Your Weird Beard, and they do a lot with Siren, don't they? So
them and Siren, they're like next door neighbours apparently.
Yeah, they're across the yard. Yeah.
Someone was telling me it's almost like having your house, a back garden, and they're the neighbour at the back of the garden. It's all that close to each other, Siren and.
Well, I think if they do things like if they're ever short of half a ton of malt, they'll just drive it over on the forklift and borrow sacks from each other and stuff like that.
That's something I've been hearing a lot in lockdown and everything. It's something I've heard a lot of because we had like can shortages, didn't we, when things were starting to gradually get back to normality, and all I was hearing was all these stories of breweries helping one another out, which I didn't think that existed, but I'm kind of glad to be, corrected that it does exist, and they're all actually helping each other out, and I think that's one thing that's really surprising, that the brewing, an industry community as a whole, good people generally are to one another.
It is a surprise, sort of, I guess, in the corporate world, because when it's quite a crowded market and quite a narrow margin market, it's not everyone for themselves. But it is good to hear that everybody helps out and which is good for everybody as well. It's good to create that kind of atmosphere and that kind of organisation, I guess. Missed a whole bunch of comments on that one.
We have, but there's a lot of talk about Newcastle Brown, which I'm sure will make you happy.
What have I started? Again, it's another one. It's another one that isn't quite what it used to be, isn't it? Newcastle Brown. It's an iconic beer, but not quite.
But back in 2007, I had Newcastle Brown in Edinburgh, and it was a totally different drink compared to what I had down in London. And it was like, wow, why the fuck doesn't it taste like this down south, man? And I actually had it when I was in Virginia State in the US in 2005, and nah, it wasn't good.
No,
no,
it
didn't.
It's actually borderline awful nowadays, in my opinion. It's I bought a torp of it for me submachine just for a laugh. I just saw what it was like, and it was almost like a nitro version of it. And, like, so any flavour that Newcastle Brown has, which is little as it is, was just kind of adapted by having this creamy version of it. I couldn't finish it. It was just horrendous. So yeah, if you think Newcastle Brown is bad out of the bottle, try the keg version. It's even worse.
I don't know. I mean, 2007, I was in Hawaii drinking it with a load of American Navy personnel. This random bar. And I don't know why I wasn't drinking American beers. I think it's just because I saw it on tap and thought, well, you've got to. It's like the opposite of when in Rome, you know.
But if it wasn't for beers like that, though, I wouldn't be enjoying the beers I drink now, because that was the stepping stone for me. Because other people I knew wouldn't touch it and wouldn't go near it, and I was like, oh, I'm all about trying something other people won't touch. So
what did you guys think growing up, and what was the beer that kind of transitioned you from that to the direction going in now?
Well, I think me and Rasco would probably give different answers to that question, even though we grew up drinking together in the same town, in the same pubs. And I've always say that where we are in northwest London is sort of, it's a kind of odd corner of London that isn't really a big sort of drinking area. Although there used to be a pub in every corner, but it used to be, you know, we're banging Fuller's territory, banging Taylor Walker territory, and of course, by various degrees, they've all sort of sold out. Not so much Fuller's up until recently, but it was never that big area for like great beer. We got onto sort of real ale fairly quickly. I mean, I started on 4X and Foster's.
Yep.
And I think just before John Smith's went Smooth Flow, we started John Smith's. That's how we kind of got onto bitter. But even then, there wasn't that great amount of choice. You know, our first pint of bitter, I think Rasco might agree, was a 60p pint of Webster's Yorkshire Bitter in our local social club. And that's not a gateway to anything, really. You remember the Websters, don't you, Rasco?
In the centre, yeah. Yeah, no, similar story. I'm just going to, before I go on this, I've got Match of the Day in the background, and Ronaldo's just came out, and Alex Ferguson's got the biggest smile on his face. He's probably thinking, fuck, I don't have to come out of retirement after all now. I'm okay now. Yeah, anyway, I'll deviate.
We're not talking about football today, Rasco, are we, Paul?
We're not. We're not.
Why, you were down my way, weren't you? What happened?
Lots of things.
Don't worry, Paul. Rasco doesn't know much about football. He's a QPR fan.
Oh, that's true.
Hey, we drew 3-3 with Reading away today, so we've done good.
We beat Sheffield Wednesday 3-0 at home, so I'm all right.
Yeah, whatever.
Happy day.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to get another bit.
Okay. But now he's leaving us to talk to ourselves. This is tragic. Oh, God.
No, through some of the comments and apologise again to everybody for missing all the comments. Jim says Jim grew up in Hawaii. He worked as a sheriff in Hawaii. What a great place to go. I really enjoyed my week in Hawaii, about 5 days in Hawaii. So, apologies for all of the questions I can't now see because it's white on a white background.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
I'll just say that with my drinking experience, I came into it in the late 90s, and I used to adore John Smith's. And around about the early 2000s, something changed in that night, or changed in me. And that's another thing with beers like Newcastle Brown. Is it the beer or is it me? Because my palate has grown a lot. I used to be always used to choose the beers that no one would go for. We were usually on hand pump. And I had some good ones, had some shit ones. Wetherspoons was a big influence. I won't deny that. In 2006, I went to my first beer festival. It was Ealing Camera Beer Festival, which I still go to. It changed venues, and that was kind of an eye-opener. But I mostly stuck around the foreign beer bar and drinking German lager. And then it just grew from there. I went to more camera beer festivals. We came from the real ale direction, and we've not got involved. We'll be honest, we were a bit skeptical on the craft thing because we think real ale is where it's at. Yeah. This craft thing, a bit here. The drink that broke me into quality is Titanic Plum Porter, which we used to drink religiously at the Brew Louise, no longer around. We might send you a video link of its last night out. It's a good one. If you think I was messed up at Brew London, mate.
Did you pitch that night? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
There is video evidence on YouTube. We were starting and finishing the singing.
Yes. Yeah.
Fortunately, link to Adam, so if anybody finds that, good luck to you.
I see. Crummy Beards is pricked up there. He's a massive.
Yeah, but back in those days, like this is only 2015. Bear in mind. You could only drink 3 pints of Plum Porter because the flavour was that rich. And that I used to bring people down to the Brie Louise and say, drink this. And they'd be, whoa. I mean, now you can session Plum Porter. There is something different with it. And I don't think it's me. I'm confident in saying it's not my palate that has grown. The drink is not what it was. And it's just what it is, man. And what is it that Sierra Nevada do so well to maintain the high level pale ale? I think every brewery's got to learn. Hello, Monocone Craft, one of the local beer reviewers. Hello.
Oh.
See, go on, Paul.
Yeah, I forgot what I was going to say now. Yeah, the Sierra Nevada are freakish. I don't know how they do what they do. Just to maintaining the quality of their beer. Like I say, the first time I had Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, I thought it was absolutely gorgeous. To this day, when I drink it now, I still feel exactly the same way, and I don't think anything's changed. It doesn't say what format I drink it in either. So I've had it on keg, I've had it in can, bottle, beautiful every single one, and I just don't know. Doing it. Yeah, no, I agree. I remember the first time, or I recall the first time. I remember the first time that I remember it. I should say, of having Sierra Nevada. I was in a restaurant in Covent Garden, Joe Allen's, a bit fancy. And when I used to go in there, I used to have this Canadian lager called Moosehead. And they'd run out of that, and they said, "Oh, why don't you try the Sierra Nevada?" I was like, "Oh, really?" And yeah, I enjoyed it, but I've come into light, and it's mostly because of that interview from Beer O'Clock show. They were having it in bottles in one of my local pubs, the Green Dragon, and I did a review on it on Instagram. I just simply said it's perfection. It is the benchmark for how a pale ale should be.
So I was going to say, cheers, Jim. He's off. It will be up on Instagram to watch afterwards. the rest of it. And if Paul doesn't mind, we'll put it up. We put it up on our YouTube on Monday night, if you don't mind, Paul. We'll upload it to that as well, so you can always catch it in a slightly bigger screen on Monday nights.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
I'm moving.
So,
Milk Stout. This is my beer of the year so far.
wow.
Wow, in bottle.
In bottle.
I thought that was just a can.
Yeah, this is a big
Cool.
bottle as well. I wasn't messing. A couple. I was on the hunt for like the holy grail of peanut butter stouts, and I kept having shocking ones. And then someone recommended this to me, and it absolutely blew my mind. And I've not stopped drinking it since. So I have another one, special occasion.
That is one American beer I would be interested in checking out, because that does look amazing.
It's ridiculously good. Ridiculously good.
What's your favourite type of beer, Paul? Do you have a favourite or preference?
I mean, I love a good lager. But at the moment, I would say my favourite style at the moment is a West Coast IPA. If you do a good West Coast IPA, I get a Cheshire Cat style smile on my face. Just the hops, the flavour, the hops, the bitterness, the pininess, just sets me off. I think they're absolutely perfect right now, and that's another reason why I'm kind of drawn to American beers, because I think they're nailing it. And hopefully we're going to start catching up and mimicking it. I know the West Coast IPA is getting more and more popular, but yeah, right now West Coast IPAs are my sort of go-to style. But I say as the nights start drawing in, which they are, I do start to be this colour. But yeah, I'll drink it.
A question I have for you with that one, Paul. Have you? I don't know if you've seen one of the American beers that I used to enjoy was a peanut butter milk stout, a Tailgate. Have you seen them in a brown can? I used to see them in Wetherspoons quite a lot. How does that one compare to the Tailgate? I'd love to do a comparison.
I've never had the Tailgate one. I'll be honest. I've never. I know you can get it on the Beer 52 website at the moment. I need to order it, and I've heard good things about that one. But I mean, the ones I've had before this, admittedly, this is just another level, just a whole level. It literally smells like someone has chucked in a load of Cadbury's Dairy Milk and a load of peanut butter. It's just ridiculous. Spot on, absolutely spot on.
Fair play. I'm a bit jealous.
Yeah, I don't know how they do. A little bit of dark fruit in there as well. A little bit figgy, a little bit of plum. That fades. Peanut butter and chocolate. All peanut butter and chocolate, and it's incredible. Yeah. Great. Only 5.3, so you can drink loads of it. Yeah.
Wow.
Good as well. Good as well.
That's good, because you don't really seem to find that with some darks. I mean, it just tends to go Imperial or nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice to know.
Yeah.
Ronaldo's just scored. I think Alex is happy. So
he got two today. Ronaldo.
He did. Let's see how long that lasts. I think someone's going to take him out.
Hope so. He's going to get golden boot otherwise.
Yeah. Wouldn't want that to happen now. Oh.
He is for me, punk IPA. I've got no time for the man. No time. I don't care. No, I'm not interested. No. Bloody Ronaldo. Turn it in. He ain't that good.
Bloody Ronaldo.
Look, mate, he's no Charlie Austin. I know. I agree with you. Charlie Austin gets on these scoring, but, there's Southgate betrayed.
Well, you cannot be comparing Charlie Austin to Ronaldo, no matter how much I hate Ronaldo.
Well, I am. Charlie Austin is a god. That's all I can say. Funkateers had the Tailgate, but not a Belgian Beaver. Sounds a good one. It does indeed. I did just see. Yeah, I've got to find a place where I can get them both in together, I think, to have a little comparison of that one.
Yeah, I'd have to say I've had the Tailgate recommended to me. I need to order a couple and see what it's like. Yeah, I'm a big fan of this one. So Belgium.
Superb.
Sand. Come out. There you go.
Oh, all good.
I've
Right, yeah.
enjoyed that creative juices. Like, and look at the glass. There's all nice lot of lacing left down the glass. So I think that means it's a good milk stout.
I've
Right.
that one. Colours. I thought that was lovely milk.
Right. Quick question there, you Paul. Right. Since we both met Radim from Budvar, I met up with him in Brew London, did a video with him. Has your lager experience or your pouring experience changed?
Yeah.
Because I've got a bit of a thing. Like, there's this constant question going around saying, when will it be the UK's time of lager? And I think it was never going to happen unless we change the pouring situation. Because I honestly don't care what the heck they put. They can put hops from Mars in the drink. It won't matter.
Yeah.
Unless we sort the pouring. And has that experience of meeting?
You're not pouring.
Yeah.
Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, because meeting him and speaking with him kind of confirmed something I always knew, and it was kind of like, wow, you've changed my beer experience. And when I was at Brew London, when I needed a refreshing drink, not Brew London, sorry, London Craft Beer Festival, I needed a refreshing drink. I went to him and I got his lagers, and the thick head on it was just making it so juicy and nice. It's just not what I'm used to with a lager, where it's just a bit more flat and a bit more bitter. And I'm just amazed by a simple tilt and then waiting and that. So what's your thoughts and feelings on that area?
It blew my
If you have
mind.
any.
It blew my mind. I never really thought about it until we sat and had that conversation. Definitely not with a lager, anyway. You know, the only beer I kind of figured that people took their time with pouring was a Guinness. And he went on about double pour, explain why they do it. I was like, it makes total sense. So why did I never think of it? It's always just pour, and you kind of tilted your glass upwards as you got to the end. Blah 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 blah. Job done. But what he said, it made total sense. And when he was saying it, and we were drinking the beer alongside him, same was being matched in the flavour of the beer. It totally backed up what he was saying. It just made sense. And ever since then, I've done the same. I tried to do the same thing. I tried to do double pours on lagers. And having that big head, like I say, it makes it so much more satisfying experience. It's been a game changer talking to him. If I'm honest.
Totally. Absolutely. And you know, he's got his own YouTube channel as well. He does food.
Oh, was he really? Redeem's got his own one.
Yeah, he doesn't do much on it, but I've used one of his chili recipes, and it's amazing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, we skip.
Hey, Phil Smith. About time, son. Back time.
He'll be sure.
Hello, Phil. Hello, stranger.
Yeah.
Have you been out of Nashville?
Yeah. Well, no, he's changed my life, and I need to send him a message, actually.
He's changed your life.
No, he has. he literally has. Because look, this all started when we did that interview with Dean and Adam, formerly of Pivo, and they told us about the different types of pours. And I was like, yes, wow. But when Radim shows you it, it's whoa. I need to know, because I know he showed us at Brew London, but for some reason I don't remember. I need to master how you do it from a bottle, because London Craft Beer Festival, he showed me how to do it on tap, but I really need to master how you do it on a bottle or a can. And I'm looking into doing a video, a small 5-minute docu video on different types of glasses and how that changes your drink.
Yeah.
And so I'm doing a fair bit of research into this at the moment. It's kind of an idea that's been going around for 20 years in my head. You're not going to like this match of days on. There's a fight occurring between players. I don't know what that's about. I don't know what game that is. But yeah.
Rasco, here's a comment for you. Funketeer69. Have you seen Radim's homebrew on Instagram? His Citra beer looks jaw-dropping.
No, I have
That's
not.
one.
I've heard something about his beer. He's got like I don't know where he lives, but it looks like he's got a flat or something, and he's got like a tap in his front.
Yeah.
Looks like. I was just like, where does he live? There's a living brewery.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose he's got access to the equipment, doesn't he? I suppose.
He did tell me he was starting to do a bit more home brewing. I met, just to let everyone know, I might as well plug it now. We or me, just at an event we're going to be live in the international broadcast. That's right, we're going international again. We're going to be live in the Czech Republic in Notting Hill, West London.
At the Czech embassy.
At the Czech embassy in Notting Hill, West London, and Budvar will probably be there, and he will probably be there. So I'll send a message, and we might do a live stream. We'll definitely do some video work from the Czech embassy, live from the Czech Republic. We've been there before, but yeah,
you got to do that.
Yeah.
Hey, Handsome John is in the house. Greetings.
Hey,
That's a great comment there from Crumbie.
What?
No, I'm shocked that Crumbie is still here because he said he'd be too tired, but I'm pleased he's still here.
Rob, hello, Rob. Hobbsine, he's here as well.
Hello, Rob.
Crumbie's interested in the Budvar glass.
What a glass.
Yes.
The weapon, isn't it?
Yes. Yes. Yes, it's a good glass. I'm sure it's great. I couldn't keep mine.
What happened before you had one? What happened to it?
But basically, the condition of me going to London Craft Beer Festival was he gave it to me, and I was like, mate, I can't take it because, look, my glass case is full. It literally is bursting at the seams.
Right.
And he said, no, have it. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll take it. And then I just got outside and I thought, I had to give it away. I gave it to a clueless drinker because I thought, I cannot bring it home. The actual taster glass from London Craft Beer Festival is so small, I thought I can get away with this, and fits into one of my teacups. so I could never have got away. I would have just found the Pilsner, the Budvar glass just smashed, or in the bin. It would have mysteriously disappeared. I was told if you go to a beer festival, you cannot bring glassware back. And I got told off for bringing back the London Craft Beer Festival. But, yeah.
Well, I think Peter will look after it. It's definitely gone to a good home, Rasker. I think it'll be okay there.
Yeah.
Hell of a glass, really is. Lovely work of art, that is. Really nice glass.
Yeah, I'm thinking if I can get another one, I'm going to have to, because I've got rid of the Brew London glasses. I gave them to a charity festival because they're that unmemorable and shit. Yeah. Yeah. Quite glad. Fucking hell, Budvar glasses are amazing. $14.99 on Instagram. Getting one, I reckon, is about 660 millimeters to accommodate the head of the British pint. Oh.
Back in a second.
Okay, good. So what I'm doing at the moment, I don't know if you can hear, Disco's not been out in ages. Do you want to audition for his slot? Because he's going to get the sack. He's getting the sack.
This is job on the line. His job's on the line. He's not pulling his weight.
You basically, yeah. I haven't seen him in almost 2 years. He's sitting there in his little cave, his man cave. And so, yeah. If you want the job, let me know, man. That's no problem.
I've been nominated. It's put on pressure here.
Well, it's at the moment it's between you and Kent Beer Reviews, and just let us know. We can go.
I'll quite happily make a regular appearance. Quite happily.
Yeah, maybe when we venture into YouTube, because we did a poll, should we move on to YouTube, and it was unanimously saying yes, and we will do it, but we are a little bit concerned about numbers and stuff. That is honestly it.
I mean, just
How was your date night, John? What the fuck?
John's been out.
Hello.
John's been out tonight.
Oh, date night. Oh, that's why you're late joining the show. Oh, fair enough. Yeah. All right. Anyway, so what else you got around your area in terms of breweries?
Not a great deal, to be honest, in the sort of immediate area. I've got 3 brewers, which are the closest brewery to me, and they're literally called 3 brewers. And what else have I got? Chiltern. I've got Neptune Brewery. We've got Juices. We've got Bowtie Brewery, who are in Watford. Look out for them. That's some very, very, but yeah.
Watford's got beer.
They got beer in Watford.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Yeah.
Fuck me! I thought all they had was street fights and a train out of there.
No, Watford used to be quite a big brewery. So it used to be a really big brewery there, but it closed down, obviously, like in the 70s or whatever. But Bowtie have sort of started up fairly recently. I haven't seen too much from them, but there's also one in Oxley Village as well, Oxley Village Brewery, a little bit south of Watford.
Yeah. There's a few.
There's a few.
You go a little bit.
There's also... There's also a couple up at what's that one up at Apsley? Not Lock 81, which is Rickmansworth, but there's one in Apsley, just south of Hemel Hempstead, who I also got from Microwave Beer. You know when you're trying to tell an anecdote and you completely forget the name of the person that you're talking about?
Never happens.
But it was Rasco. It was where Craig from Brie Louise went, I think.
Right. Yes, the former landlord of the Brie Louise, the legendary smelly pub. But my God, that place was terrific. Oh, John had a nice one, by the way. He said a takeaway and the kids played nice. All right. So what's it going to be, fellas? The Cloudwater political thing, or this beast of a beer from Three Hills?
I think we probably all want to see. I don't know. I don't want to speak for Paul, but I think we want to see the Three Hills, really.
All over the Three Hills, mate.
Right. We'll have this, and then I'm going to call it a night, maybe.
Yeah. It looks more presentable. The other one looks a bit of a mess, doesn't it?
It does, if I'm honest. Yeah, it's kind of a protest. There you go. It is going for rain of shine, whatever. It's collab between Black and Soul, UK Black Pride, Queer Brewing, Rock Leopard. Cloudwater do like to feel like they're educating the world, not just in beer taste, but in political things. If that's what I want to do, that's what I do. I'm of the absolute different side, but we don't do politics on my show.
Yeah.
Paul, by the power of Google, I just want to say the one I was thinking of was Pope's Yard.
Oh, right, yeah, Pope's Yard.
Absolutely. They've almost got a tap room, but they have on the bar at Kings Langley Football Club, who I've been to a couple of times as away games. They've got some fairly decent beers, to be fair, Pope's Yard. Worth checking out.
I'm not sure if I've had anything from Pope's Yard. I should have done. Like I say, it's not far. Boy, that looks... God, look at the head on there.
Yeah.
That's a decent tan head, isn't it?
I can smell it from here. It's rich, sweet, and gorgeous aroma coming from it. Very tanned head, dissipating very quickly. Putting it to light. It's kind of got this ruby glow around the edges, but it's very dark in the centre.
JB done it.
11%.
Woo! He's not messing about, ladies and gentlemen.
No, I'm not.
He's hardcore, as I said at London Beer Festival. He is hardcore. He don't mess about.
No. There was a comment from Lords, John, smelly pub. Yes, Brie Louise. As much as I love that place, it was a bit smelly.
Oh, it was proper old school, spit and sawdust, like sticky floors.
You went there. Did you go there, Paul?
Hey?
Did you go to the Brie Louise by any chance, by Euston Station?
I don't think I've been to that one. Doesn't ring a bell. But if I've been there, I'd probably be like, yeah, I've been here before. It's kind of that scenario. But I don't...
Yeah. Mate, it's if you'd been there, you would never have forgotten about it. It was brilliant for its range of cask and cider cask as well. Did a nice little pie you could eat, but the toilets were fucking awful. It was proper old school London, where old school London is very, very hard to find.
Yeah.
Particularly, and it was literally tucked away from Euston Station, and it's no longer around. It got knocked down. Well, it got closed down 3-4 years ago. It was tragic affair. And we were there on the last weekend of it being open, singing and dancing. I owe that pub everything in terms of beer.
Yeah.
There would be no Rasco and Disco without that pub, put it frankly. And I think this is a point will Disco agree? Willie?
Well, I think, yeah, we certainly developed our beer taste there. I would say if we hadn't gone there, we would maybe still be doing what we did because we started at GBBF rather than there. But it gave us a lot of options, but it was mostly real ale and cask beer. So rather than like craft beer, I think.
But GBBF only came around once a year, and what did we have to do to fill in the gap? True.
The Brie Louise was there every weekend. If we wanted
every weekend, weekday, lunchtime.
Well, once I was introduced to it, I did. When we used to do football away trips, and we'd end at Euston, it was like, lads, Brie Louise. We would end so many football trips at the Brie Louise. It was, and you'd see so many other football fans in there as well on a Saturday night. It was great. You'd rock up there, and you'd see people like who were going north. You just see sort of like random Bolton fans and random, like anywhere out of Euston. And he's, all right, lads, how'd you get on today? Blah blah blah. And it was a great melting pot of so many different people, and tied up with great beer.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Oh mate, it was heaven. It was the ultimate pub, and now it's gone.
Damn.
But,
damn. Sharks are Einger's Oktoberfest. I've not had any Oktoberfest beers yet this year. You two?
I was going to ask you about that. Not. I haven't got into it yet. I nearly had one this weekend, but it was from last year. But I think it's sort of something to look into for the next week.
Yeah, I need to get some. I've ordered 2 torps of the Paulana Oktoberfest for the submachine. Hoping that's going to be a good one. Hoping it's.
What I'll probably end up doing is, I think I might just probably look at House of Trembling Madness in York and just buy a bunch of German beers.
Yeah.
From them, because I know I can get them in overnight. So. Again, there's so much choice at the moment, I guess, isn't there, really?
Yeah, yes.
Next week, like Anspach and Hobday do a range of Oktoberfest beers, but I don't know if they're out before they have their Oktoberfest beer festival next weekend.
Doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like it. No.
We want to know, because they're doing the Rauch beer again, the smoked beer again. And normally they change it up. I think it's just the Rauch beer this year.
Yeah. They did say they actually told me they were doing that again. I was like, happy day. I could not get enough of a hello. John's just asked you, saying, when are you going to be at Disco? He's looking forward to meeting you. John, mate, no, you're not.
Some people say it's better that Disco doesn't go out. It just stays at the Disco Arms and coordinates the live chat.
While you were gone, I did audition Paul for the show as a potential replacement. So he's doing quite well. It's between him and Ken Beer Review at the moment.
Yeah, but did you pass the audition, Rasko? Is he also not auditioning you? Does he want to work with you?
Oh.
I know he has already. Sorry, Paul. I'm talking about you in the third person like you're in.
I've seen the guy, so it's, yeah, anyone who does good thing.
Anyway, I shall.
Joe.
Hey, Joe.
Easy.
This is something else. It's so sweet and it's biting you, but and it's boozy as well. It's not the booziest beer or pastry stout I've ever had, but it's like a punch in the face, but in a good way. If you're into that, I'm not saying I am, but it's simply just burning through my tongue. I was a bit worried that I thought the Anspach beer would have burnt out a lot of my taste buds because it was quite heavy in its espresso-likeness. No. This is vengeful. This is... and I'll be honest, it wasn't cheap, and I got a discount. I got this for 11 quid. Yeah. And, my God, it's not going to make beer of the year. It's just short of that. But it's definitely fucking memorable because it is one tough motherfucker. I don't know how else to describe it. If you were having it, Paul, you'd probably say all sorts of things, but it's just one tough motherfucker.
That's all you want. That kind of money on a beer, all you ask for is it's fucking good, you know. And you drink it again. You drink it again. Would you pay the money again?
Yes, once in a while for a treat.
Yeah,
I would.
It's a win. It's a winner.
That begats the question. I don't know about Rasko, but what's the most you've ever spent on a beer, Paul?
The most I've ever spent on a beer was 15 quid. That's the most I've ever.
And what was that beer?
That the can of Narwhal when they first came over here. The Imperial Stout from Sierra Nevada. I think I paid $15.75 that can when they first hit our shores. I couldn't wait to get it, and I paid it without thinking about it. And to be fair, it was amazing then, but it's actually gone down in price now, so I haven't got that to worry about anymore. So that's 11 quid a can now, so it's like down like £4 the first started.
Yeah. And was that worth that 15 quid?
Oh yeah, definitely. When I drank it, I was like, yeah, I'd drink that again, definitely. And now it's gone down, I'd buy a few happily. It's an extra stout, that beer. It really is.
Was that a pint can coming from America? Was that?
Yeah.
Wow.
It does look a bit better when it's a pint, don't it, I suppose. What do you reckon yours is, Rasko?
What this?
Most expensive? No, is that your most expensive beer? Do you reckon?
The most expensive beer is we were in the craft beer house in Tottenham Court Road, and I brought us something one Christmas. That is the most expensive beer I've ever had. I can't remember what it is. I was hoping you knew.
But no, was that pro rata though? Because we only bought that was like £6 a half or something ridiculous, wasn't it?
No, it was a bit more than £6 a half, mate. It was more like 10 quid a half or something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Was that not Siren's Caribbean chocolate cake?
No. That was the same night when we mixed the Siren with a chili beer because the chili beer wasn't going well. So we got the Siren craft chocolate thing and we mixed it together, and then
You
balanced
told me
out and
about
made it. Yeah.
I don't remember. I'm fairly certain that the chili beer was an Anspach and Hobday mango and chili pale ale.
Oh, okay. Well, most
Sorry,
expensive.
did I just see that right? Lord's Brewing. Yes, he did. Yes, the Keith Lorraine Bacon Beige beer. Is that a thing? Because I saw you talking about that this afternoon, Paul. So, John, are you saying that's a thing? Because I will vote for that. A bacon flavoured beige ale.
There's a campaign growing for a Keith Lorraine beer from Lords. The campaign is growing.
I will sign up for that. Because like John's comment earlier about having like smoked malt makes a browner beer, but I don't think that's. Does it have to be beige? Can it not just be a dark beer?
Yeah, let's do a dark one.
Yeah. There's lots of bacon flavoured beers about, but
Well, I mean, what's beige? Beige is light, okay?
it's like a light brown.
Yeah. I mean, I have smoked lagers. They're not particularly dark, are they?
Yeah. My wallpaper is beige, which is why I cover it up with brightly coloured T-shirts so you can't see it, but you can just see beige at the top there.
Beige, yeah. Beige.
Disco. Didn't we have a bacon smoky beer back in Cardiff in 2004? Yeah.
The German one. It was the what's it called? It was the German one that's I think available at the moment. But it did taste like bacon.
Shalenka,
that's it. Yeah. I think that's the one we had in Cardiff, Rasco.
Right.
And that was the first beer. That was the first beer of the day, so it was like a breakfast beer because it tasted of fucking bacon. It was delicious. Absolutely.
It was.
About 11 o'clock.
Yeah, that's good. The Mad did one. Mad Brew did one. They did their own version. Must have been last year. Did a smoked lager, and it was fantastic. It was really good. Just tasted like bacon lager. It was fantastic.
Yeah,
they nailed it.
You can't absolutely. Well, like Rasco loves his smoked beers anyway. I love smoked beers, so it's just something a bit different and interesting. And yeah, the more smoked it is, and the more it tastes like bacon, the better, in my opinion.
Yeah, winner. Do you know that bacon sandwich can be like the perfect sort of hangover cure, and it's the best thing you can have when you've had a skinful the night before? Do you reckon if you necked a smoked lager, it would have the same effect, or would it just make? Wondered.
It's definitely better than a pint of San Miguel with a fire up.
Oh man.
There is a lot of support for it's Keith Lorraine. I thought it was Keith Lorraine, not Quiche Lorraine bacon beer, beige beer.
He's got.
I don't think it has to be beige. I think just something smoky.
I'll be on.
Well, I've just observed the match of the day. Arsenal have scored for the first time this season, and they look really, really happy.
They won.
Vasco, don't swear in front of Paul. It's not for you. You can't bring a guest on and swear like that.
They won their relegation 6-pointer today. Well done to them. Well done to them.
Yeah.
Bless them.
No, but they look so bloody happy. Yeah, we've scored. Hey, yeah. We've beat Norwich 1-0. Wow, and it's a shit sloppy goal. It really is a shit sloppy.
They're not good. Arsenal, right? They're in a bit of a mess, and it's hilarious. It's really funny.
Yeah, I'm gutted.
I completely agree with you. I hope they go like the same way as Sunderland or Leeds did a few years ago. You can just go into free-for-all.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah, listen, I won't hear a word said against Sunderland. It's a great trip. It's a great away trip to Sunderland. Good beers up there. I've done it several times. even on a Tuesday night in March, it's a great night out.
I love that documentary they did on Netflix, Until I Die. Did you watch that?
No, I've been told to many times.
Good, really good.
It is a good night out, Sunderland.
I look forward to... Hey, Paul, we're in the final wrap-up now for the last 10, 15 minutes or so. Or he says, well, what's the best town for you to go out drinking in? Is it Leeds, or have you got another place? Because I noticed you were pretty impressed with Leeds.
I was well impressed with Leeds. I was well impressed with Huddersfield as well, to be fair. I wasn't expecting that at all. But yeah, Leeds has left a bit of a stain on the memory, but a good one. It's and we only got half of it done. I'm going back up there hopefully in October, meeting up with John again in October, and we're hopefully too. So anyone who fancies the Leeds for another lash up, we're doing it. So because we didn't get to Brew York, we wanted to get to Hebden Bridge as well. We wanted to go to the vocation site. To the Banker's Cat, the Thornbridge pub. We wanted to get to Tapped, which John was excited about. So yeah.
The Thornbridge pub, what do they serve there?
I wonder. Might be day, but they say orange bum.
Yeah.
It was your beer of the festival, wasn't it? At Brew London. What was it called? Best beer I've had at Brew London. He went. He come all the way down to the town, and what did he come away with?
Jaipur. To be fair,
he stand up to Rasco there. He did say highly recommended, not beer at a festival, and you did all absolutely right about for that. But you know, if he'll keep going on about it,
but hey, look, if I don't go on about it, everyone else will for me. So you know. I had a great time. I don't know what happened, but yeah, I had a great time. Thank God for YouTube.
I cannot get into Jaipur. I cannot get into it. It's just never ticked the box.
It's really weird because I always say about not really liking like citra heavy hoppy beers, but that is one I can actually drink. And even I was at a music festival, and they had the Jaipur X on. The 10% version, and even that I could actually drink, and I was shocked myself. So I like Jaipur as well, but don't know often. But
in Huddersfield, we went to a pub called The Grove. John will tell you. And I was looking at the list, and they've got like a 40 strong keg. And I thought, right, I've got to do it. I've got to try it. I've had it in a bowl. I've had it in a can. I've got it here on cask. I've got to do it. It was just so bland. It's just so average for me. Just don't do nothing. And people swear by it, and I can't fault them. I can't say anything wrong with them. I've wanted to like it. I've really wanted to like Jaipur, and I've just like it just don't do nothing for me. You know, it's so weird how such a statement beer, so many people could be right behind it, and then someone could just be the total opposite. And I'm just like, ugh, I want
it's,
you know.
It's like what you said earlier. It's like I'm not going to mug anybody off for liking one particular beer. If that's what you like, that's what you like. Yeah. And I can see it is quite subjective. It's like I don't like citra heavy hoppy beers, but I can drink Jaipur, and so I won't ever mug anybody off for that. But you like one thing, I like the other thing, and sometimes we like the same thing. But it just shows the range and the difference in different beers, I think, and different people's palates.
Yeah.
It is, and I think it is, you know, it is a victim of its own success, like many beers before it. The brewery got big and they wanted to make money, and it's just, you know, I'm really referencing other people because they say Jaipur was better 10 years ago, and I've tried. This is my point of the year of what I've grown to like? Is it the beer or is it my palate which has grown? That is my thing for the year. So what I'm learning. Big comment from Funk Atir 69. I was in a micro pub. Oh yeah, was a Cloudwater Elevation triple hopped IPA. It was Scarford based beer on the label. I am Scarford, but there was no way of paying $14.99. Well, there you go. There's the Cloudwater. You know what, Disco? I know what the most expensive beer you've ever brought. It was that Cherryade beer in Cloudwater on the Birmingham Beer Mile.
No, I don't think it. Well, it might have been pro rata again, but we only had a third. That was Purple Bobbins.
Yes,
from
that's it.
I've never seen it before or since. No, I don't think it was. Again, that's for an individual beer. Yeah, that was probably like we only had a third of it. I would have happily bought a pint of it, but it was insane. Yeah. It was like cherry Coke or something, or Vimto flavored kind of beer.
Yeah, yeah.
I always say that the most expensive pint I ever bought was a £9 pint of Brains SA, but it was in Wellington, New Zealand. It was import, and it was worth every penny because I hadn't a decent pint at that point, like on a 3-month around the world trip. And that was the same trip I was drinking Newcastle Brown in Hawaii, to be fair. But yeah, I think like I spent quite a lot of money, but only on like a small sort of amount. So if you'd had a pint of it, because I don't know about you, Paul, I always judge beers on, I'll buy a pint, I'm a pint drinker. But now getting into like craft beers, it's like sort of drinking thirds and 2/3.
Yeah, I'm very much, I'm a pint drinker, full stop. And I still struggle to get my head around doing bits and bobs of things, you know, like when you do the Bermondsey Mile. It's sort of basic. And I've made that mistake a few times. And I'll go in, I'll have a bit dollars, I'll have a pint as well. And then 3 or 4 down the line, you think, shh. It's like, this is to work, you know. So it's, it's a bit, I'm the same. I'm a pint drinker. And I get used to the just trying multiple beers rather than having a limited amount of good ones, you know.
I think it's become easier in the last 18 months just drinking preferably 440s if you're buying stuff. Like you might get some 500ml bottles or the odd 500ml can, but you're drinking 440s, which is essentially 2/3, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it is a bit. It is still a bit strange not having a pint.
Yeah, indeed. Apparently, Lord's Brew Co. met one of the Chuckle Brothers in Sunderland. That's interesting. Which Chuckle brother did you meet?
I think he met the one that's a traffic warden.
What?
To me, to you.
Oh, fuck off.
Oh dear.
We haven't. Sorry, I haven't had enough shit jokes. I mean, this afternoon on your stream, there was a whole load of really terrible jokes which I participated in. I haven't done terrible jokes tonight.
For an afternoon, all the jokes were coming out this afternoon. It was great.
Yes, indeed. It's very nice that everyone is talking to each other on the stream. We really appreciate it. Get to know each other. Say hello. Right, I'm going to try and wrap this up. There's a lot of talk, right? I'm going to have my intellectual moment. I did have a Rasco rant planned, but I forgot what it was. There is talk. Is the time of IPA ending? Because it has been pretty dominant. And should we move on from IPA? Is it even in IPA's interest to move on? Because it's pretty much everywhere. And I'm not even sure what an IPA is anymore, if I'm perfectly honest. Because it is so varied. And I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it is a thing. Final thoughts, fellas. Hit me up. and this is going to be asked a few more times. And if you have any more thoughts on it, just send us a message and we'll reflect on it. Because I like to reflect on things and over a beer.
It's a tricky one, isn't it? It's a because you can drink pale ales now that are just as complex as most IPAs.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
You get a 6% IPA, you're expecting a bit of a serious amount of hops, a serious amount of flavour, and then you can pick up a pale ale for 4.5%. The flavour profile, and it's just the same. And you do kind of wonder why'd they bother putting the I at the beginning of it? You know?
Yeah.
It's odd.
Yeah.
It's odd.
Yeah.
Yeah, the I is almost superfluous in a lot of things. It's and often, as is the P, it might just be, it's just an ale.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm quite keen for an IPA, and I'm a big fan of New England IPAs, more so than the West Coast. Although I've had a few from Cloudwater, which have kind of made me think, okay, I get this now. I'm liking it. But it's kind of like, especially when I was at London Craft Beer Festival, I found a black IPA, but I didn't find a black IPA. I found a dipper black IPA.
Yeah.
And look, I really appreciate how versatile IPA is. But is the beer industry too dominated by IPA? Because let's face it, if you're starting a brewery, you'd be foolish not to make an IPA because it's a cash cow for you. I mean, you might want to do just experimental sours and reinvent the world with sours, when I'd appreciate it because I'm not a fan. But at the same time, you know, you got to earn the money or you're out of a job. So is IPA something the beer industry can live without of? Is IPA going to bring the beer industry down with? This is things you've got to think about.
Yeah, I don't think I can see the beer industry beyond IPA now. Like, it's so dominant. You imagine if all of a sudden you look at the shelf and there's no IPAs on there, you're going to think, what's going on? You know, it's weird. They're almost just as general and as popular now as lager. You know, it's getting to that stage where every single craft brewery needs to be knocking out an IPA, otherwise they don't really exist. And like I say, when you talk about the flavour profile, and it's similar as a lot of pale ales who haven't bothered putting in, you do wonder what are they doing, you know?
Yeah. Comment from Lord's Brewing: we're fed up of IPAs, but in general public, I often hear people say I drink IPAs and make them sound like they know beer. They know their beer. Yeah. IPA will be around for at least a couple of years. I agree, and I don't want IPA to go away. I just think, has it gone a bit too crazy?
Well, you say that, Rasco, but then we sort of circle back round to, we're going to say it again, our friends at Mad Yank, who don't actually have an IPA on their core beer on their roster. They're predominantly about stouts and sours, even though, and I think that's because they're American led. But they were talking about bringing IPA, but their core range is stouts and sours. And
you say that, well, I think IPA is more American led than it is British led, to be honest. Lots of brewers, I'm just catching up with comments. From Lords, lots of brewers make all sorts of beer and slap IPA on it to sell to the masses. Completely agree with you there. Yeah, IPA is a marketable name. This is why I think I don't know what IPA flavour actually is. I'm having to reread a book I read a year ago from Roger Proulx, famous beer reviewer from St Albans. He lives in St Albans, by the way.
Rich city of beer drinkers, what can we say?
Yeah.
It's a great place to drink in beer, St Albans.
And he's book on it, and he goes back. He went to U-Brew in the Bermondsey Beer Mart, and he brewed an original IPA under the conditions it would have had to go through when sailing out to India.
Right.
And he speaks very highly of it. It's a great book. Funk Estates, no, the Funk Estates is a brewery, sorry, from New Zealand. Funk Tier 69. I think IPA should be back to the original British style. Yep, gooseberry, banbury, earthly, 6% onwards. The original daddy craft beer only oriented in the US by trying to eliminate the style. Okay.
That's all very well, but then how do you explain a session IPA? Because that's a massive thing, like a mini IPA or a session IPA. It's not done on percentage. It's still the flavoursome, but it's a lesser percentage, which actually I prefer. I prefer a session IPA because it dials down that kind of hoppy flavour a little bit.
Yeah, see, I'm the opposite. I don't think I've had a good session IPA. I was up an IPA. I want my IPA to be 6% plus. That kind of 6%, between 6% and 8%. That's like the magic ABV for me. That's like the magic ABV. You get it there, you get good beer. If it's less than 6%, it's pale ale for me. I've had some good pale ales. I've had some like pale ales at like 3.5%. Incredible pale ales. The flavour they pack into them. You would put like some IPAs. That's where my concern comes in. I drink a beer called Hopfest from Mad Squirrel, and it's a 3.7% gluten-free pale ale. The flavour in that, and I'm a massive Vocation fan as well. I will put Mad Squirrel Hopfest up against Life and Death by Vocation. And you tell me the differences in those two beers. They're really, really similar. Flavour profile, really similar. Yet, Life and Death is what, 6.5? And the pale ale from Mad Squirrel is 3.7. It's crazy.
Wow. Again, I don't think I've had Life and Death. I certainly wouldn't have had this Mad Squirrel one because it has the word hop in it. And I generally find beers with the word hop in it don't sit on my palate because they're too hoppy. Even though I love Mad Squirrel and they're absolutely no doubt quality beers. But that's a great comparison. That's a great comparison.
It's just breweries. They slap IPA on a can. They're like, right, there you go. Now we'll sell it. You know.
Yeah. I completely agree. I mean, what you just said and what John just said, he's got another comment. Session beers to do with the factory workers back in the day, and they had session time where they would go and enjoy lower ABV beer. Ooh, interesting. God, that sounds good.
I hadn't thought of that, actually.
Yes.
But then surely back in the day, like beers used to be a lower ABV anyway, because it was given to workers, or maybe that's where session IPAs come from. But yeah, so because they'd be given to work, so they could still have a couple of beers on the job. But then if you was working at a brewery, you was having a couple of beers on the job anyway.
Well, this is true, but you know, alcohol bans really didn't come into effect until motorized vehicles came. When you realised I can't really drive this when I'm plastered. You know, it's.
I'm sure that didn't stop a lot of draymen back in the day.
Yeah, well, exactly. You know, it killed skilled workers, so therefore we've got to do something about it.
I used to story. My granddad, who was a bloke who used to work for Fuller's, and they used to deliver it on horse and cart.
Yeah.
And he said, unless his horse had his head in a trough full of beer, he wouldn't leave. The horse wouldn't want to go in the morning. Unless he'd had a skip the old London Pride, that horse would not leave the yard. He had to be pissed. The horse had to be up before he would.
God.
Little things like that. I love all the old little stories of the old school brewery. I think that's nuts. I love that stuff. Yeah.
Oh, dear. That's a good one. We're not fans of London Pride though. There's one thing me and Disco agree on. I've got love for Fuller's, but we don't like London Pride. Bengal Lancer. As
long as you like ESB, you're all right.
I have respect for ESB, but it just because the area we grew up in, ESB was all over the place. And
Yeah.
I remember it being at the last Ealing Beer Festival I went to, and it was there, and it was an award winner. I was like, really? Well, come on, it's ESB. Everyone knows what ESB is. I said, can I have a taste? And I tasted it, and I thought, that is the best ESB I've ever had. It's still very good, but it's still ESB. I mean, seriously, why is it an award winner? Why is it even here? But yeah, great. ESB. Yeah.
It's a good beer. It's one I'll have at the end of the night. It's like quite a heavy beer. And if there's nothing else, if I'm in a pub, there's nothing else on, I'll have it on. There are other better ESBs I've had and around. I actually used to prefer HSB, which was the Gales version that Fuller's brought out.
That was a good beer. Don't see that very often. Yeah.
I used to, because I'm in a fairly Fuller's area. Like got a couple of Fuller's pubs up the road that do HSB. So if I see an HSB, I will probably have it on. Oddly, I got mates who used to live in Portsmouth that had a few Fuller's pubs on, and we used to call ESB extra sweaty bollocks, and HSB was hairy sweaty bollocks. So it's a pint of hairy or a pint of extra. But both, as much as I deride Fuller's, they were both decent beers.
Yeah.
When it was kept well, when it was served well at decent pubs, like, you know.
Yeah. One of my favourite things to do is, I've told John about this if he's still in the chat, go to the Pastry Yard, the Fuller's pub at King's Cross.
Absolutely.
Sitting there and next to a few pints and just watching people all over the world.
Yeah.
Spend the afternoon there quite thinking about pints.
Well, we'd always start there. The breakfast was pretty good there, because if we was going out King's Cross, we'd start there. A good breakfast. We're going on a football trip, a good breakfast and a couple of beers, and we'd always end up there as well on the way back. And they're really good. They got a really good range there, the Pastry Yard, Fuller's and guests as well.
Yeah, they're getting bigger.
At Lord's Brewery from Funketeer. Have you read this out, by the way?
No, I haven't. No, so I've missed all the comments. Again, I apologise for missing loads of comments because I can't see them on my phone properly.
That's how mild originated. Talking about John's previous comment, how mild originated in the Midlands and the Northwest to quench the workers' break time and low ABV. Fuller's ESB from Funketeer 69 is a great bitter, and that's coming from a northerner.
Open our praising a London-based brewer. Shocking.
It's only fair, because I praise quite a lot of northern beers, so it's nice to have one back.
Well, fair enough. I mean, I do dream that, I wish Titanic was based by the River Thames, but no, they're not. They're from Stoke-on-Trent, Nobody's perfect.
Better where they are. I'd rather than be there.
I was tapping on the other way. That was quite pleasant. That was quite.
I didn't catch that. What was it?
I was in their bolt maker.
Yeah?
A town cask up in Huddersfield, and that was a very nice pint. Really nice pint, in fact.
Nice. Very nice.
Get well served.
Yes. So, oh shit, we've gone on for 2 hours. Fuck.
It's been like a natural, normal chat, like we was at the pub. So we normally try to keep it to like an hour and a half. But I mean, we'll carry on, Paul. But we don't encroach on more than 2 hours of your time. But it's been a great chat.
It's been, like I say, it's just been like having a bit of a chat in the boozer, isn't it? It's been perfect.
Yeah.
You won.
Yeah.
Well, I won anyway.
5 hours.
But just one thing, do you ever pop by the St Albans Camera Beer Festival?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. It around this year, haven't they? They usually do it in the Auburn Arena. And this year they're doing it around all the pubs, aren't they?
Really? Just like GBF? Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, they've had to spread it about because they can't get in the arena itself or whatever. So they're they're doing sort of pub-based stuff as a camera thing, aren't they?
I think it's a good idea. I'm not sure if it'll get as many people, but I think it's a good idea though, because I mean, bloody hell, the pubs need the money, don't they? So
there's a good chance, Paul, we've been in that arena at the same time, like almost like next to each other, and not realised.
The last couple of years, I've met and spoken to so many people. You hear their stories, and you think, "Fucking hell, we've probably met, we've probably bumped into each other and not known." You know, it really is.
Well, I mean, our first video on YouTube was GBBF in Olympia in 2018, and then I think we did St Albans. Rasco 2018, we did St Albans, or was it 2019? Or was it both?
2018. We didn't go to 2019. We couldn't make it for various reasons. But we went to 2018 on Saturday, and I wish we hadn't. It was good. It was a fun event, but the beer was pretty poor. It was literally all dark, all mild, and it wasn't particularly.
Don't go to a beer festival on a Saturday night because you know a lot of stuff's going to be sold out. But that was all we could do, so we weren't having that. But
we checked out the menu, and it was kind of like, oh shit! So it wasn't this night. It was literally. And I went to I went to St Albans in 2006 after I just got back from working in India, and I remember just spending all my time at the foreign bar, drinking German lager again, and it was just
I remember I spent a Saturday afternoon drinking Budvar at the foreign bar at St Albans Beer Festival. That's just like I just get one after the other. And males, but they're scattering it around all the pubs in the area this year. So it's a good idea, but it's a bit of a pain in the backside to sort of meet people, you know.
Yeah.
When's that happening? Or has that happened?
The end of this month. I think it starts like around the 23rd or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
I saw up on Twitter about it, so you can follow the because it's a big camera thing, so we follow the camera on Twitter, so it's there.
I can get a direct train to St Albans.
Yeah.
You can, sir. You can.
Now it's.
And more importantly, a direct train back. That's the key thing.
Yeah.
You got to do it. We'll meet up and have a skinful. That'll be a good laugh.
I might be in touch. If I can do it, I'll be in touch.
Yeah.
All right. Because you've got some great pubs around now, and I'd always like to get to know those pubs because they're like proper country, old English pubs.
Yeah. Yeah, they got some good boots there. The boot places like the pub and the boots and the old Fighting Cocks. That's one of the oldest boozers there in the country down the road.
Fight Boy.
Yep.
I love the Horn. I always go to the Horn quite a lot for music in St Albans.
Yeah, it's cracking for live music on it.
Yeah.
Hey, I think we've reached our conclusion. I'm not going to get to the Cloudwater beer. I might have it later. But Paul, thank you for joining us. It's been a great chat. This is what we aspire to do, just, have a chat and talk about beer. Thanks for doing the review. Thanks for your thoughts and sharing. Anytime you want to pop on, let us know, man.
Oh, mate, I'll be well up. I appreciate it. It's been really good fun. I've enjoyed it.
You tell what a professional he is, right? I've been for a slash. I need another slash. You've been for a slash. Mr. Balloon Bladder here, and it's like he hadn't even moved in 2 hours. That's absolutely superb work, sir. Professional.
No, I love it.
Hey.
Appreciate it.
Paul,
no, go ahead, Disco.
I was going to say, Paul, thank you very much again. Yeah, for joining in and bringing some beers and bringing some good chat. I want to say thank you to everybody in the chat that we've missed. They've been bringing some great comments. Everybody's coming and stayed watching. Apologies if we missed all the comments and stuff, but thank you very much indeed.
Yeah, we've got a few things lined up for the next couple of weeks. We don't have a guest on for next week because I might be either in Anspach Beer Festival or be trekking in from Birmingham. We do have another guest, one is which Paul is familiar with. I'm not going to say who. We are going to have another brewery on the show, but it won't be on a Saturday. We're in negotiations with them on what day, as soon as Disco sends the reply email back to them. So keep watch this space. Things is happening. It's going to be a very busy couple of weeks for us. Do I say believe enough to lose control?
I think it's so. I've run out of beer, so I can't do a cheers at the end. Normally we do a cheers at the end, but
you've got a whole stash behind you, mate. Paul, Thanks very much indeed. Cheers. Thanks everybody. Have a good night. Have a good week. We'll see you again soon online, somewhere around, or hopefully at some point in person.
Definitely.
Believe enough to lose control.
Adios. I've already met Paul, by the way. Bye-bye.